Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning? I'm just clearing away up here on my desk if I can find a spot to sit the tripod. And I just came up here, and of course, my tripod is one-sided, as usual. But I came up here because I have good news. It came yesterday. A knock came on my door yesterday. And I said, I was just getting ready to lay down and take a nap yesterday. And I said, I wonder who this is. And so I tried to peep through the fish eye. Cause I think I was in the bed or just about to get in that bed to take a nap. And so I goes to the door and I see this guy standing out there. And I'm saying like, who is it? He's on the phone talking to somebody else out there on the door. So what I did, I knocked on the door. I knocked on my own door so to get his attention. And then I said, who is it? And he says, maintenance. I said, I didn't call you. This is what I'm good for saying to somebody talking about their maintenance. I said, I didn't call you. And he says, I came here to talk to you about your flooring. I opened my door. And he came in to tell me that they are going to do my flooring on Wednesday of next week. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. I was so very happy. But you know what? I didn't know what this thing entailed. They said they got to take everything out of here. You know what I thought? I thought they were just going to move things aside, do that area. He says, no. He says, everything got to go out. I said, oh, shoot. I was getting a little not perturbed, but a little leery because I'm thinking, oh my goodness, are they going to break up my furniture? Because there's some heavy stuff in here, y'all. You already know when you got the reclining furniture, it's very heavy because of the iron that's inside. And I said, oh my goodness. And I remember when they brought my couches in, they had the backs off. So I don't know if they know how to do that, but I asked them, and he says, he was telling me that I needed to dismantle this, my curio over here. I said, can't you just move it aside or do something? And he says, no. He says, everything's got to be taken out. And I said, well, I don't know about dismantling it. I said, I don't know how to do that. I said, what I can do, I can take the items out of it. He says, okay, take the items out of there, and then we're going to have to dismantle it. Does that make sense to you? Unless maybe he's a fear of breaking it. I don't know. But if they know how to put it back together, they better not break nothing. That's the only thing I got to say. And I said, well, what about the bathroom? He said, well, let me take a look. He said, maybe we can do the bathroom too. We're going to do the kitchen, the bathroom, everything. That's what he said. But one question I did not ask him was, are you going to do the closets as well? I don't know. Do they do the closets as well? Because if they do the closets, oh man, we really got to take some. You talking about moving. We got to move. Just the floor part. I wouldn't have to worry about the things I would imagine I wouldn't have to worry about the things that's hanging up in the closet. I would just have to worry about what's on the floor of the closets. Both this closet, that closet, and the closet in my bedroom. That's what I would have to worry about. But I told him, I can't be lifting this. He said, no, we're going to lift it. He says, we're going to lift everything. He says, I said, oh, y'all got muscle. He said, yeah. He says, it's going to be 6 of us. What? He said, it's going to be 6 of them guys in my house. I was like, wow. But I didn't care. I said, I was just so happy to hear that about my floors. I'm going to finally get floors. They didn't tell me what color, but I would imagine it's going to be the brown, which doesn't matter to me. I'll go get me some throw rugs. I can just see it now. If everything is level, You know, because over here where my table is, it's not level, you know, because of where the mud areas are. I got the two mud areas, you know, like where I parked my scooter, and over there by the, excuse me, over there by the back door, there's also another mud area, which is tile. You know, it's a tile area. And once they level this floor down, I will be able to change my table around, which would, you know, make it look more roomy. Which I'm getting rid of those plants. I can't take those plants anymore. As a matter of fact, oops, I shouldn't have said anything because they didn't know yet. You know, the plants didn't know that I was getting rid of them. But I'm sorry, y'all gotta go in my way because and the leaves are getting dry, especially on that I think it's called a corn plant. I don't know what it's called, but I got a lot of dry leaves. But I could probably save it if I turn the soil over. But I don't want to go for that anymore because it's too much stuff in my house, y'all. I said now would be the perfect opportunity to get rid of some of this stuff. If they take this chair out, this red recliner out, it's not coming back in here. That's all I can say, y'all. It's out. My granddaughter, she said she wanted. She told me in April. This is April, and I haven't heard from her anything about she's wanted. Matter of fact, I'm going to call today to see if she still wants this chair. And it's not coming back in here. Either way, it's not coming back. It's got to go, y'all. Thinning things out. And I'm so embarrassed by my TV. You know, the screen of my TV is so dirty. And get out there in that sunlight. Oh my God. Maybe I could wrap it up in a sheet or something so they won't notice that I never cleaned it. I have no intention of starting to clean it now because if I clean it, I'm afraid it might go out. Which, I mean, I want a new TV, but I don't want to, you know, try to scrap up the money to get no $1,000 TV or $700. I think my son said I could get a 65. I think he said for about $600 or $700. But still, that's a lot of money for, you know, when you're on Social Security, so to speak. And then YouTube ain't paying me nothing. And so, and all this stuff that's sitting around, you know, I gotta box it. I ain't got no boxes. I threw all my boxes away. Now I wish I had kept them because I could be packing some of that stuff up. But if they're coming to do this, they got to bring the boxes, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. That's why I say about having a lot of stuff sitting around, you know, on the all those things over there, on that right over there, on there, see where that lamp is over there. All those pictures of my grandkids, and I don't know what else is sitting over there. I think a bowl or something is over there. And that thing behind the couch where the roses are, that's over there. I might put that, I don't know, I'm wondering if I could paint that and put that in the, no, I can't put it in the bathroom. I forgot I already got something in the bathroom. But I'm not going to get rid of that. I like that little situation. But it's got a lot of stuff. So far, that's the only thing I can figure that I'm getting rid of. And the lamps in my room, they're not coming back. As a matter of fact, I might take those out myself. And you're not going to believe I still got the can of paint that I painted this. Well, the guy painted, he did a horrible job of painting this stuff. I hate the color of this. I need to change it. But I had I think it's a 5-gallon, you know, the big thing of paint. 5 gallons of paint that it didn't use because the only thing they painted, I had white paint and this crazy looking color paint right here. And I've got over, this has been years ago, so I would imagine that paint is messed up by now. But my sister says sometimes paint lasts a long time. Sometimes it gets a film on top and you just got to stir it up. I ain't interested in stirring it up. I'm just interested in how to dispose of it. And so I guess they'll let me know about that as well. But I'm so happy about that. I had to come up here to share that with y'all. And I was going to go to the store. How y'all like my new sweater? Look at this. Wait a minute. Amazon. It's too little though. It's, too tight. Look at that. Ah, it's too tight. I gotta go to the store. I really do, because I don't got no coffee I can percolate. I got the instant coffee, but I don't have the kind that drip, the drip. And the sun was out a minute ago. I got my hat on and everything. I'm ready to go. But I'm not going to call my ride. I think I'm just going to go, up over there to the store, just pick up some creamer and some coffee and some rice. I got a little note written down here somewhere. I got a little note. I love these crackers. I was watching Anthony one day. Anthony, the little van lifer, and he was talking about how much he liked these. I said, well, let me try these, because I usually buy the peanut butter ones. As a matter of fact, I still got some peanut butter ones in there. And I tried them, and I like them too. Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, Anthony gave me that idea, because he said he was good. Thank you, Anthony. Oh, shoot, that wind is whistling like I don't know what out there. It's whistling like a train or something is coming, y'all. See, I got my little note down here because I was going to take my ride. I need some coffee, some rice, black pepper, which I don't care if I don't have no black pepper. I got I like to use the coarse ground black pepper, but I do have some of the other black pepper, the regular black pepper. Black pepper don't spoil, I don't think. And I had wanted me some Crystal Light. I was going to get some Crystal Light to put in my water because I want to drink more water. As a matter of fact, my mouth is tasting dry right now. And I needed some liners for my coffee, the coffee liners that you put the grinds in. I need some of those. Frozen veggies. And those are the main thing I didn't want to forget, so I wrote those things down because I don't usually buy those, when I go grocery shopping. I'm not going to do no whole lot of shopping. Matter of fact, I don't even think I'm going because of the weather, y'all. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. There goes the Kansas. See how that stuff blowing there? Yeah, no, I don't think I'm be going to the store. See my tree? See that tree right there? Over there? Oh, man. Somebody decided to throw a bottle right here in the yard. Oh, brother. Well, I can still go to the store if I want to call my, I got money on my book, but I ain't desperate, though. I ain't desperate. Because I do have, like I said, I do have the instant coffee. And I can use that instant coffee that I have. Yep. I hope y'all are excited for me as, I can't wait. And they do this in like one day. That's all it takes. I said, oh boy, I'm going to have to stay up and probably stay outside, out of their way. But I'm going to be around the house, though. I'm going to be around. And I got stuff underneath that table there that I forgot about that I got to take out. If I had a box, I could be doing that. I should have asked him if they were going to provide the boxes for me. Because I got a lot of stuff sitting around on my dresser in my bedroom as well that needs to be put in a box. If I go to, I think Amazon sell boxes, don't they? I'm trying to think. I think they might. But if I go to Amazon, I would buy a box. There's a U-Haul. They charge too much, though. But, I just would like to get those things up out of the way so they won't have new, all the stuff that's sitting around unnecessary. I don't know how I could got so much stuff. Where it come from? And you know, like little trays like this. Look at this. I got this little tray here. And this is the last clean. Oh, that's another thing I got to put on my list. I need some Kleenex. Because that's the last one that I got. I need some tissue, a facial tissue. Write that down here right quick. And it's little trays like this that I got sitting around. And I got them sitting around in my bedroom. I got them in my refrigerator, which I ain't worried about the refrigerator. You know, I got my headphones here. I got my blood pressure monitor that goes in here. I've got, you know, stuff that, see, gum, there's gum in here. There's my Tylenol. I call myself taking the Tylenol down from there to make it look a little neater up there. And I got my Vicks Vapor Rub, and of course I keep my lipstick in here because it's right here, you know, immediately. But I have another little bag that I got some makeup in down there in that other tray. And I got my spyglass in here. I figured I'd put that in here, you know, because it would be, you know, if I need it. It was right here. So I got gum. I'm telling you, y'all. Can't you come over here and help old round grandma clean up the mess? Nah, I won't be going there. I mean, that wind is actually whistling right around the corner, y'all. Like a wolf outside. Woo! Wow. Like they say, March roars out like, no, March comes in like a lion, roars in like a lion, and goes out like a lamb. Now, that's what they say that March supposed to do. Okay, March, bad March, you're gone. Where's the lamb? April has been feeling like March. I can't remember hardly a day that the wind hasn't been blowing. I don't remember weather being quite like this. I don't know. You know, it's like every day it's windy, you know. But like I say, I don't think I'm not going anywhere today. I like to go out on a sunny day. I don't like to go out on a day like today. As a matter of fact, I'm late getting up. Well, I'm not late getting up because I've already been up. Matter of fact, I got chicken in here. My chicken, let me tell you, when I got up at 4 o'clock this morning, I was up at 4 o'clock. And then I, you know, stayed up. I had breakfast. I stayed up and played some games because I couldn't get back to sleep. So I said, well, hey, let's get on up. And then my neck was hurting like son of a gun now. And so I said, let me get up. You know, sometimes you got to get up to stop the, you know, the pain or whatever it is you're going through when you're older. You know what I'm saying? And so I got up out of the bed, sat here and played some games. And so I'm not going to eat this unless I wait until about 5:30 to eat. You know, eat my breakfast, eat some cereal or something like that so I can take my meds. And this chicken I had already taken out. And then I said, well, you up. You might as well go ahead and cook that chicken. So that's what I did, y'all. Ain't nothing but a chicken breast. You know, I took a chicken breast. Matter of fact, I turned it back on after I woke up and let it heat through just a little bit more. Yeah. Dinner served, y'all, and lunch and everything that's going to happen today as far as the eating goes. That one breast is going to handle it. I think I'm going to have me a chicken salad sandwich. That's about all I eat these days is chicken. And sometimes I don't think the chicken is real either. Let's see how long I've been up here. Jibber-jabber. Because I got me some crackers right here. I'm going to eat those. And I just make a cup of instant coffee. Too early for lunch. It's only 10:20. But the guy came yesterday, but I think I had already made a video yesterday, or I didn't make a video yesterday. I can't remember. Oh, shoot. My hairbrush went right over here in the trash, y'all. My brush and my comb. Boy. Get over here and put it over here with the rest of the junk. Let me get rid of this tissue box, too. That's my last tissue. And I thought I had another box because I usually keep my, my dry goods, not my dry, well, I guess you could call them dry goods. I used to keep my paper goods, should I say. Like my paper towels. Wow. Like my paper towels. And, like my little baggies, my foil, extra foil. And I have a drawer in there that's got foil in it, in the kitchen. And all the different wraps that I use are in that one drawer. And paper towels, the extra paper towels are also down here. You'd be surprised that a lot of stuff fits underneath that table, And it's got the drawers, it's got the opening of the drawers on both sides. It's like a little island, But yet it's a dining room table with, the bench and 4 chairs. And so I didn't realize that I was headed, down to my last box of tissue. I don't want to order from Amazon. I got to get my tissue like $1 box. You know what I'm saying? $1 box. I don't know. I'm going to look up there and see. Sometimes I do like Amazon for that reason. And those sheets over there, y'all, on that table. I just got those yesterday. And I don't know if I like them or not. I don't know. They look mighty flimsy. Let me show them to you. There they are right here. I got them spread out over here. I got to wash them. They feel good and everything. See? You only get 2 pillowcases. I like to smell them. I guess this is the top. Yeah, this is, no. Yeah, I don't know where. This must be the fitted sheet right here. But to me, they look thin. I don't know. Wait a minute. What is the, oh, I was looking for the hem. It's just got a regular, the regular hem. That's the top part. But I was thinking it had the hem like this. Oh, well, I ain't sending nothing back. I'm going to wash these bad boys and put them on my bed today. Today, yes. Today, y'all. And on that note, I guess I've jibber-jabber long enough. And I'll talk to you again soon. Before you know it. Hang in here, y'all.